Greetings, greetings. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource. We're now going live. The topic of this video is going to be why you must hold these digital assets or be left behind forever. First, as usual, before we get started, I'd like to give a disclaimer. This video is going to be for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. Please understand everyone's individual circumstance or situation may be different. It's up to every individual competent person to please do his or her own homework and research regarding the matter being discussed. This information is not to be construed as legal advice, financial or tax advice, etc. Any event you feel you need to seek a competent professional, it is encouraged you do so at one's own leisure. Dorsey's Resource Channel is not liable or responsible for anyone's misuse of the information being presented. Everyone is responsible for their own commercial affairs. All rights are reserved. Now, let's get into the topic. I wanted to discuss why you must hold these digital assets or be left behind forever. This may be one of the most important videos I've done. This is going to be like a redo. This is my newer channel. I want to thank you for those who've already followed instructions and have joined me over here from the previous channel that I can no longer log into the back office. I did do a video not too long ago over there. I hadn't done any videos in a while, but I felt it was important to share this information as I was instructed last year. One of my sources, it appears as though, was given permission from high up to share this specifically, and it appears as though that they wanted others to know. I can't say to what degree that the higher ups wanted, but it sounds like they wanted certain individuals to know this information. And they also briefed me on some other things. They get updates from time to time about what's getting ready to unfold. And I had received information a while ago that they have changed in the entire banking system around. And it was emphasized whether you like it or not. This came from someone real, allegedly, it sounded like it came from someone real high up. I won't go into the details, but it sounds like they were saying that whether you like it or not, because as I said earlier in my other video I did on my other channel just a few hours ago, that a lot of people, including myself originally, was not a big fan of Bitcoin. Um, I was upset at the fact years ago I didn't know how to purchase it when I wanted to buy it. I felt there was an agenda. It was hidden, and I had been through so much throughout the years. I won't harp on that because this video turned into a rant, and that's not what I want it to be. I want this to be very critical, empowering information about these ISO coins. Without further ado, this is also going to be a brief update. Uh, I may go further. I've discussed this topic before. If you know about my other videos on my other channel, that should be still up. Some videos were taken down, not by my choice, by the way, but those videos related to this topic should still be up over on that channel. But it's encouraged. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. It's where I'll be going with action-packed, high-powered information. Brief update about GCR. This is tied in with the global currency reset. Ripple XRP, there's a connection to the dinar. I was allegedly informed that you will be paid out in digital assets. They said this some years ago, but they just simply said you would be paid out in Bitcoin. But some sources were saying you will be paid in XRP. So I don't know how it's all going to play out, but I'll give you an idea. What I do know is that it's best to get prepared in multiple areas, not only gold and silver. That's not going to be the only area. You're going to need to have a diverse portfolio. It's important, just like any investment. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. Diversify your portfolio. You're going to need to know if you're an older, stubborn person. I don't know what to tell you, but you're going to have to play catch up. You're going to need to learn as much as you can about cryptocurrency. We don't have a lot of time left. Time is of the essence. I was kind of aware of this some years ago, but I knew as I was studying the sovereign information separately, which is very demanding, very time consuming, just like this type of information, it is a lot and it can be overwhelming, but we have to do our best. And as I was learning, transitioning to pace myself and learning about crypto, you want to learn as much as you can because time is of the essence. We don't have a lot of time left. I was informed with what is getting ready to take place. The evil cabal wants something called the Great Reset. But a friend of mine, when he started hearing about this information some years ago, he started thinking that I was part of. Said, "Hey, this thing you've talked about, the global currency reset." He said, "I've heard this other thing called the Great Reset." Well, there's supposed to be a difference. It's not supposed to be the same thing. But that's what the evil elites want. The evil cabal. Just know there's a difference. But to get into the meat and potatoes, certain cryptocurrencies, to get into the topic of this video specifically, was why you must hold these digital assets or be left behind forever. With my source relayed to me why this was important. They stated certain cryptos down the road, once the regulations come down the pipe, there's only going to be a handful of cryptos left. He even stated that Brad Garlinghouse, allegedly Ripple CEO, said that once the regulations come out officially, he said many of these scam coins are going to go away. I guess that's what he referred to them as. Also, coins that don't have a strong use case are going to fall to the wayside or be regulated out of existence. This is why I have been very skeptical, very leery of investing in coins such as Caspa or Shiba Inu coins, these meme tokens, Baby Doge, Pepe, these coins that don't may not have down the road a strong use case, could be regulated out of existence. There's an agenda, as you see what was going on with the SEC. My source was telling me as some of the news reports were unfolding when the SEC went after Kraken, not that long ago, they went after Binance. We even saw a while ago certain banks that were doing business with cryptos. Remember, Signature Bank was one of them. Then there was another bank, Silicon Valley Bank, when that scandal with FTX went down, and there was been many others throughout the years. It's all tied in with the regulations, and they have an agenda. The evil elites have an agenda to get rid of the retail investors and forcibly put everyone under control under their system. So allegedly, from what my source told me, Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO, once said that once these regulations come out, many of these scam tokens or coins are going to go away. Also, coins that don't have a strong use case or utility are going to fall to the wayside or be regulated out of existence. Now, I'm not hoping for that, guys, at all, because people out there, some of you all may be aware that looked out for me or whatever. That would hurt me, and I had invested in some of these tokens that I remember. But once I got this information, I stopped focusing on those particular tokens and coins and turned my focus to the coins that I'm going to go over in this video that are very important to hold or have in your portfolio. It's a must. I went over this in the past, but I may have been not as clear, more vague. The Bank of England has already adopted using the on-demand liquidity, the ODL, through the XRPL. I was told the L means ledger for the XRP digital currency ledger system. Once again, England has already adopted using the on-demand liquidity. I just heard recent reports that Chase Bank has been bought up a bunch of XRP behind the scenes. BlackRock has been involved, mentioned, and my source told me a major global financial system is supposed to change over sometime this coming January. This was given to me a while ago with global digital assets. XRP is scalable, which means you don't have to wait a long time for the transaction to occur. It's supposed to be used on a global scale, but my source told me XRP, XLM, XDC, XFIN are going to be made stable coins once the regulations come down the pipe. This is what I was told. I'll share it again in case you didn't hear me clearly. XRP, XLM, and XDC, that's XFIN, are going to be made stable coins once the regulations come down the pipe. I guess that's when everything clears up. someone from the IMF allegedly made that statement. When this is mentioned, the average person thinks this means it's going to be pegged to the US dollar. However, my source told me, no, they're in actuality, they're not going to be pegged to the US dollar. The reason why the crypto market has been down for so long means that behind the scenes, everything is getting ready to be reset. I was also informed currently the reset is in the process of unfolding. It's going on now behind the scenes. They have been holding the market down. That's why XRP, one of the reasons why some people were like, why didn't it go up when they won the lawsuit? It did go up briefly, but not as much, and it stayed hovering around. Like lately, it's been around over 60 cents, and people were like, it should be a lot higher than that, which I agree. I thought it would have been a lot higher than that by now, even when it was relisted on many of these exchanges. But the plan is, my private source told me that the big banks, such as the Chases, the Bank of Americas out there, the Federal Reserve, they want to set up where you're going to them to purchase your cryptos. They want to get rid of exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, or they want to take over them and force you to have to go through them. This is what is coming from real high up. And the Great Reset, I was also informed, is actually called the quantum financial system. And this is going to replace the old legacy system that is being phased out, and is going to use blockchain technology. This is what the banks are adopting. They're changing over the system. The difference is the evil cabal is trying to call it the global, is trying to call it the Great Reset. When we remember prior, we were calling it the global currency reset, the GCR, and they call it the Great Reset because they have an agenda. They want to, as I went over in my other video briefly, and I've gone over in the past, they want to control us with their social credit system, their CBDCs. And I have a document that can explain how that would unfold. If you give me time, I can go over that. So my source went over. However, the good cabal is attempting to turn the quantum financial system will have a level of privacy versus the other system. Both systems will use blockchain technology. However, the QFS, the quantum financial system, is going to have a level of privacy behind it. I was informed. Klaus Schwab's system that he wants to have will still be cash will be still pegged to it for control purposes. However, the evil cabal's ultimate goal is to make their system cashless, so they force everyone onto their blockchain system to track everything that you do. Remember, that was tied in with what I kind of went over with the social credit system. I have another document can explain that maybe a lot more eloquently. So all of the fiat currencies right now are not going to revalue until the QFS goes live, from what I was told. So this means all fiat currencies and commodities are going to be reset. This is another reason why, just like XRP is held down, silver is being held down on purpose, because they are doing this. They don't want it to happen until the QFS system comes in place. Then that's when they're going to be set to their true value. And then once the commodities get reset to their proper value, then XRP can go from 62 cents, 63, 64, wherever the price is at, to be pegged to the price of gold. Once at that time, once it gets pegged at the flip of a switch, they can make the price skyrocket if gold happens to properly reset to 30,000 per ounce. The same will happen with XLM, which can go from 11, 12, 13 cents to 19,000 once XLM Stellar gets pegged to the price of silver. Once silver gets reset to its real value, I was informed. That's part of the other plan. So once it gets officially pegged, this is what will make XRP, XLM, etc., a stable coin. Once they peg these cryptos to these commodities, I hear the manipulation will stop once the stable price of silver and gold peaks, by the way. So we still have yet to see this unfold, but this is allegedly part of the plan. Whatever the price of silver is going to be, whatever the price of XLM is supposed to be pegged to silver, and I believe XRP is supposed to be pegged to gold. I was also informed the dinar was supposed to be pegged to gold. So there may be a connection, because I was allegedly hearing that instead of when you go to exchange your dinars, you would get paid in XRP, because dinars, Iraqi dinars, will be pegged to gold. And there was a reason why years ago, under that older system, that fiat revaluation system that was supposed to take place was a public side and a private side, that the dinar, the reason a lot of emphasis was placed on it because of its oil, its resources, its precious metals in that country. That's why it was a lead country before the Chinese yuan allegedly took over as the world's reserve currency. Now, I don't know how that's all going. It's going to play a part, but the IMF, I believe I heard they changed it. But allegedly, we know that the Chinese yuan is part of the BRICS currency system that stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And even though there's more countries that are connected to those, so I heard allegedly that the yuan, they wanted to make it under, instead of, remember, the US dollar was dying under the petrodollar, was no longer, they wanted to phase out under the new agenda. They were originally going to make the dinar, but then they changed it, I believe, to the Chinese yuan to be the new world's reserve currency. So there's some things that's going on with that, but we'll see as that unfolds to kind of give you all an idea. I'm going to try to find this particular article. By the way, I had bookmarked that went over some critical information. Let's see here. Check out my bookmarks. By the way, so I have an important article. Trying to find where I did with it. Okay, important news files. Here it is. Okay, the topic of this article, I want to read to you. This is from naturalnews.com. The topic is worse than CBDCs. Globalists publish plan for worldwide financial enslavement under unified ledger system. This is, if you're wondering, with Natural News, this is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. There's also connection to his video web hosting platform I went over. It's another awesome alternative to YouTube called Brighteon.com. Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, puts out awesome reports. He also has Brighteon TV. Not only Brighteon.com, it's like another video web hosting platform to get independent media reporting real information that mainstream will not cover. It's another alternative to Band.video. He's also partnered with, by the way, and from time to time, you'll catch some of his videos or reports over at Band.video, which acts like a hub, or MadMaxWorld.tv, by the way. But the topic of this article, once again, it's called Worse Than CBDCs, Globalists Publish Plan for Worldwide Financial Enslavement under Unified Ledger. It starts, if you thought central bank digital currency CBDC plan sounded dystopian, just wait to read the new Unified Ledger agenda released by the Bank for International Settlements, BIS, known as the Bank of Central Banks. The plan, found at this link on bis.org, is entitled Blueprint for the Future Monetary System, Improving the Old, Enabling the New. I provide a full analysis in today's Brighteon broadcast news video below. This new plan describes an Orwellian, globalist-run unified ledger that records the ownership of all assets, checking account, real estate, bonds, stocks, etc., on a centralized exchange run by globalists. All assets will be tokenized, a process that the BIS describes as recording claims on financial or real assets that exist on a traditional ledger on a programmable platform. This unified ledger will feature programmable entries, meaning that your ownership of assets can be revoked or altered at any time according to the social engineering desires of the globalists. That's what I mentioned in my previous video I did on my other channel a few hours ago, related to the social credit system. The next part of this paragraph says, if you speak out against child sex trafficking, for example, or child trans mutilations, all of your assets can vanish from the unified ledger. This also includes other things, like if you speak against the you-know-what, from the you-know-what happened a few years ago when they shut you-know-what down. That's, and then false flag events, certain topics, that many content creators, big influencers have been censored over. So just add those to the list. That's how you will own nothing, in case you were curious, period. This next paragraph. The centralized globalist controlled unified ledger stands in sharp contrast to cryptocurrencies, which are structured on decentralized distributed ledgers with no centrally controlled authority. Additionally, most blockchains are non-programmable and also immutable, meaning no one can go back in time and retroactively change the ledger entries for Bitcoin, for example. Thus, it's now abundantly clear that the Western finance globalists are at war with human freedom and decentralization, and that cryptocurrencies are on the side of human freedom, self-custody, and self-determination. Self-custody is related to cold storage wallets. You want to look up, research what that is. Told you guys it's very important. We're running out of a lot of time. I know there's a lot of older people that are like, I don't want to mess with Bitcoin. I only want to focus on gold and silver. Yes, gold and silver is important, but I'm telling you a very serious message. And this is, I cannot be clear on this, whether you like it or not. I wasn't a big fan of Bitcoin originally, guys, years ago. I won't harp on that, but we haven't been given a choice. But you're going to need to have a diverse portfolio and understand the globalists, the Illuminati, use different tactics to control the world's population, not just here in the United States of America, but worldwide. They use different strategies, and they've already implemented. We've seen tyranny take place drastically in other countries already that have authoritarian dictatorships. Just look at North Korea. Look at China. They have, it was found out not too long ago. They actually, just like North Korea, they have forced labor camps. Look what they did to the Uyghur community, if you know about that, by the way. So it's this next article I'm going to read from the same article. Says self-custody of crypto means globalists can't take it away from you. That's why there was such an emphasis. My source told me, was sharing with me, you want to look into cold storage. I actually just ordered not too long ago. I'm not going to say which brand, but a cold storage wallet, by the way, that my source has multiple ones, but I thank him for sharing that information with me behind the scenes. I appreciate that. But I don't want to, some information I want to leave out. I'm not going to go into the details, but I was informed that I haven't set it up yet. I actually ordered it, and it's actually still sitting in the package. I want to get ready to do that soon. But some of the better ones that came out don't use Bluetooth, because Bluetooth is hackable, and also what do you call those USB drives? There's these newer types. I forget what they're called, air gapped or something like that. They're supposed to be a lot safer, because I don't know if you all heard, those of you all who do keep up with crypto heard about those Ledger Nano wallets were hacked not too long ago. And I've heard in the past that even some of the Trezor wallets were hacked. Now, some of the reasons why these wallets were hacked, I was informed, was because newbies or people that didn't understand this technology earlier on. This is why I think it may be a blessing in disguise why I didn't learn about Bitcoin years ago, because there were so many traps that happened with people having their coins on different exchanges that got hacked, and even cold storage wallets, because there was critical things that happened where people were moving their cryptos and they were hacked through Bluetooth, or they were tricked. They didn't know which website the site could pick up their SYN keys, because you have your private keys, and it was able to pick that up, and the person didn't know how to safely send them away, and they got lost forever, basically, based on the way the technology is, whatever. I hear that hackers or whatever, they found a way. So you have this newer technology where some of the companies vow where they don't hold their customers' keys or whatever, any of their information. They emphasize security as a number one priority. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to this, but my source told me self-custody, you want to make sure you get into cryptos, you get a cold storage wallet. They emphasize this is very important, because the Cabal members have a plan. If you've been paying attention and you have your eyeglasses on, those of you all that know that Klaus Schwab has mentioned about a potential cyber attack or major power outage or electrical outage, By the way, remember that electrical outage we had back in 2003? That would devastate a lot of people. Or there's a potential EMP strike that could be, won't say naturally done, but can be controlled. And there was a plan. We know that these people don't have our best interest at heart. They have nefarious intentions. They want to kill people. I don't put it nothing past. So the evil cabal has an agenda where they want to take everything that you own. Remember, I read earlier, they want you to own nothing but control everything. And this is how you will own nothing, because they said if you have any cryptos on these exchanges, you don't have custody if you don't have access to the private keys, because they have private keys. When you move them off, you have a send and receive key. And I hear exchanges, like, if they could, like the flip of a switch, if they decide to hit a button and there's a massive power outage, there's a cyber attack, or they may blame it on an EMP strike. And when what Alex Jones has been reporting on, there's some movie coming out that they're working on in Hollywood to put a lot of propaganda in, and they've been pushing this, that they're going to blame it on right-wing conspiracy theorists. They're going to blame it on Trump supporters. They already did this down in Maryland. They blamed the attack on these power facilities on allegedly these right-wing conspiracy theorists. Notice they always have a boogeyman. They have to have a bad guy and play. That's a strategy that in the elites, they don't want people to catch on to this. So what I'm doing, explaining this, I'm deconstructing the information for you all to understand from the times that I'm able to try to get the access to the information. Because I tell a friend of mine, Alex puts out overwhelmingly a lot of information, and many of the media organizations he's partnered with. Even though I absorb a lot of information, trust me, it is overwhelmingly a lot of information for me to process and absorb. But this is just as important as the information I'm learning dealing with redemption education, other areas. You need to be prepared in multiple areas. And that's just the way life is. Life is, unfortunately, these people, these evil ones, have done these things. And there's a saying, I forget how that quote, you guys have heard me mention it, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. But you can't put nothing past these people. These people are very evil. They have nefarious intentions. So they're planning. So just say if you have a lot of all your cryptos, it's good to have, move them to a cold storage wallet. Because I heard there was some whales recently were making large purchases of Bitcoin. I heard someone made a very large purchase of a whale on Coinbase and moved Bitcoin to a cold storage or self-custody wallet, they refer to them as. They moved it off the exchange. So that may be indication they know something's getting ready to happen. By the way, that there's a potential cyber attack, and that's one of the ways they plan on stealing your wealth from you. Because one thing, your self-custody of cryptos means globalists can't take it away from you. The evil cabal. The good cabal wants you to know from what was relayed to me. But the evil cabal that wants total control, that wants to make you a permanent slave, wants you to take their what, so they can do the what to you, because they have patents and stuff like that. And trust me, they're going to interface that with their that technology based on transhumanism. This is something that Yuval Noah Harari admitted. And just read what Klaus Schwab mentions, the fourth industrial revolution or whatever. And what Yuval Noah Harari, his advisor to Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum, mentions that we no longer need humans. And listen to what he says. Even though when he did the interview with Lex Fridman, he lied about not knowing who the globalists are. So he doesn't want you to know what he's part of. See, they want to think, they want to play stupid sometimes. They don't want you to know. But this is stuff they've admitted. They wrote books and stuff. This is in reports. Read the book by Carol Quigley, Tragedy and Hope. Jones brings this up. The book by Carol Quigley, Tragedy and Hope. You can buy from InfoWars store, Infowars.com. Should still have it. The book by Carol Quigley, Tragedy and Hope. I get the concept. I haven't purchased it yet. I have bought other books in the past. Mark Dice wrote a book. I bought his first book, The Big Brother, where he mentioned how they were going to use social media to data mine and weaponize it against the American people or people that don't go along with their agenda. And that's why they try to accuse people of certain political views and stuff like that of being fake news and stuff. So you guys see the agenda. Hopefully I'm deconstructing this for enough for you all to understand, and overstand. Understand, understand, and overstand. So what the globalists want to achieve is a system of assets and finance where you never have custody of anything. When you deposit money into a bank, for example, you have no custody of that money. The bank does. That's what these exchanges are like: Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, Uphold. And the bank can decide at any time to seize it or freeze your account or declare bankruptcy. A government or law enforcement agency may also order those assets seized, and the bank will readily comply. When you hold cryptocurrency, as well as gold and silver, on the other hand, you have custody, and no one can take that from you except by force. Holding Bitcoin in a crypto wallet, for example, a cold storage wallet, gives you total control, custody, hence ownership over those assets. Even better if you use a privacy coin, or as Pusha Monero is saying, no one can even see how much you hold or how you spend it. Interesting. But this is the concept. So that's where this article I thought was important. I went over. So the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, wants to harmonize all central banks under centralized globalist control. Right from the summary of the BIS document linked above, we find out that the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, sees its new unified ledger tracking of all assets issued by central banks. In other words, this is even larger than just CBDCs. It combines the assets of all central banks while also tokenizing and controlling real estate assets, stocks, bonds, pensions, and anything else that can be represented through digital records. A new type of financial market infrastructure, a unified ledger, could capture the full benefits of tokenization by combining central bank money, tokenized deposits, and tokenized assets on a programmable platform. The BIS document goes on to state that all tokenized assets can be subjected to regulatory rules set by governments. These would include regulations involving speech, climate change, acceptance of LGBTQ narratives, conformity to vaccine demands, and so on from the paper. This is what this states. This dual nature of tokens could be used to good effect in a supervisory and compliance setting by directly embedding supervisory features into the token itself, which can be tailored to specific rules. This is how they're telling you in this article that I'm reading for you guys. The upshot of all this is that globalists will have total control and ownership over all your assets, and those assets' very existence will be subject to increasingly insane globalist rules about accepting propaganda lies about climate change, transgenderism, child mutilations, elections, pandemic war, vaccines, and more. If you don't conform to their transhumanism demands, all your assets will vanish. That's why governments, central banks, and the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, are absolutely terrified by the idea of self-custody, where individuals maintain ownership and control over their own assets. And that's why self-custody is the perfect answer to escape the globalist tyranny. If you want to have any assets at all, they must be assets held in self-custody. Bank accounts are not in your custody, nor are stocks, treasuries, bonds, or almost any other investment instrument. Real estate can be in your custody if you live on the property or can assert a physical presence at the location of the asset. Gold and silver in your possession are obviously self-custody assets. And cryptocurrency, when held in your own wallets, cold storage wallets with your own keys, is, of course, the ideal form of self-custody. That's why smart people are currently converting fiat currency holdings into gold, silver, and crypto. It says, learn more about the BIS plan for total globalist control over all your assets in today's Brighteon broadcast news. Okay, that's pretty much the end of the report, guys. I'm going to go back to my notes. I'm going to see how many people we have in the chat section to acknowledge you all. Jojo Wave says, peace. Thank you for joining. Jojo says, especially XRP. says Jojo Wade says focus on Bitcoin only. I say once again, I disagree with that. One needs to diversify their portfolio. I was informed. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I know a lot of Bitcoin maxis out there tell you focus on Bitcoin, but a lot of people are already priced out because Bitcoin is so high. I know you can purchase it in fractions and increments, but it is extremely high. And if you DCA dollar cost average, I was informed by some advanced YouTubers I follow, you can grow your massive portfolio in altcoins, but you want to be invested in the proper altcoins, because the topic of this video I kind of got away from is why you must hold these digital assets or be left behind forever. Those digital assets include XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand, Quant, HBAR, that's Hedera Hashgraph, IOTA have been chosen by the elites. And I hear there's maybe a handful more. Allegedly, Cardano was part of the list. Solana was originally part of the list. I don't know what happened if Solana is officially an ISO, but they were in a document that I had that the World Economic Forum put out a report some years ago. So Solana will probably survive, I'm assuming. I was even informed privately that Crow will survive, even though some have their opinions about the cryptocurrency Kronos. They have a big investment in the Staples Center. So I would bet, hey, if you were going to invest, that's a safer bet if you're going to go outside the ISO coins. But you definitely want to have the ISO certified coins in your portfolio that include XRP, Stellar Lumens, that's XLM, XDC, that's XFIN, Quant, HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph, IOTA, and also Cardano, allegedly, I heard was part of the list. ADA may be one of the surviving coins. And Cosmos, in particular, I heard allegedly formed some type of partnership with the ISO ledger. Cosmos may survive, by the way. I can't say Cosmos is not officially ISO certified, but there was some type of partnership, I heard. So Cosmos, that was a good indication to me. Those of you all that know about Atom, Cosmos may survive. And I see certain coins, they say maybe Ethereum killers. Or Solana is a good potential Ethereum killer. Some people believe Solana may even surpass Ethereum ETH one day. Others that include Cardano is one, and Cosmos was another, and AVAX, Avalanche, by the way. But you want to go with projects outside of that. I can't say that other coins, meme tokens, will necessarily survive, because as I went over earlier, they're saying they're going to only allow a handful of coins may be able to survive. That may be contingent upon the community. That's if I'm not wishing for these things. If the SEC pushes these other coins down the road, pushes them out of existence. Jude says, which one do you get? If you watch some of my previous videos, I don't just go into details. I'm not like some channels that go over their portfolio. And there's a reason I don't like going over, because I had some cabal people, potentially people real high up. I think, just giving my opinion, when I did go over a particular coin that I held a while ago, and I actually during the time period, I actually took profit. It's actually the only coin that I took profit on. It actually bought a portable power station that I purchased. I wish I had gotten in it earlier, had been a little bit smarter as I was teaching myself. And during that year, I was still learning. I didn't know how to take profits, which I should have, because I was learning how I could have bought back in during the last bull market. And I'm not saying this coin, but I feel that there was an evil cabal person watching my video, and some multiple evil cabal persons, when I mentioned that particular coin. To answer your question, Jay, why I don't like to mention what coins I hold or tokens, and I'm explaining to you the reason why is because I feel these people are very sinister, very evil, and I can't really see you guys, or I don't have any control as far as seeing who's genuine, who really supports me behind the scenes. Unless I meet a person in person, I can get a better assessment. And once I get to know someone personally, but it's still hard. But the example is, I believe, when I mentioned this particular coin that I held at the time, that the cabal persons out there, their minions, went and manipulated this coin intentionally to keep me and others from becoming wealthy. And I'm very upset to force me to be on this 9 to 5 job. This is how evil they are, because I'm still stuck. I should have been out of this. I'm very angry. I shouldn't say that. I would go into some other things. I found out there's going to be some. Well, I'm not going to go into that because I will be tipping my hand off if I share that information. I'm going to hold back from that part. But let's say I was upset, and I think, in my opinion, because I have analytical sense on a massive level. I got that from a rapper, AZ. He did a song some years ago. It was like a hidden song on one of his albums. Towards the end, the guy was mentioning how you got to be a last level. I won't say that they, you know how rappers use the N word, but they mean it as a brother term, brohood term for the hood, for the streets. And he said, you got to be a last level guy. And he went over this type of information. And I said, I got that analytical sense on a massive level. I can pick up stuff. I have a unique skill set. I can't really explain it, but I have a sixth sense on a massive level. And the spirits tell me things. I've had dreams and stuff like that. I used to practice astral projection years ago, where I was starting to develop superpowers, with some referred to as superhuman abilities. I even found out some things. I was telling a friend of mine that's really into the comic book characters, the fanboy stuff, and I told him that technology is actually going to be available, where it's going to be when we become a type 1 and type 2 civilization 100 to 300 years into the future. It's going to be amazing, the technology I said we're going to probably be long gone. I was telling a friend, but there's humans going to actually be able down the road to develop those type of abilities based on the technology that's going to come out and how they're going to merge. But the globalists, of course, they don't want us to get access to life extension technology. That's another reason why the evil cabal don't want the general population. They want to kill off a certain amount of the world's population, as they admitted on the Georgia Guidestones before they destroyed the Georgia Guidestones. Maybe because the Georgia Guidestones went too public, too many people found out about it. They admitted how they wanted to reduce the world's population down below 8 billion. Remember, those of you all that remember the Georgia Guidestones before they destroyed them, I heard they since haven't rebuilt them. But because another reason, they want to be the only ones, they want to merge with technology. A friend of mine said, refer to the movie RoboCop. They admitted things cryptically in certain movies and stuff. The Hunger Games, it's another one of their cryptic movies. They want to have these dystopian futures. The Divergent, it's another prophetic movie that they want futures like, look at Bruce Willis movie called Surrogates. Elysium is another movie, Elysium with Matt Damon. They want a dystopian future, and you have to connect the dots. So that's one of the reasons, Jude, I don't like mentioning what cryptos I hold, because they have minions and underlings that don't have our best interests. I just wish there was a good elite out there, a good cabal man that had my back, or somebody that I could trust that could really help get me out of this 9 to 5 job that I'm in. So I said, you would have a friend for life, preferably if it would be someone that could become my mate. I could marry my significant other. That's maybe asking too much, but that would be the diamond in the rough. If I could find all of that, that would be amazing. You would have my undivided loyalty. I would never forget you. But that's to show you how loyal of a person I am. But we're dealing with some. If you got to understand, some people don't get it because they haven't had to suffer or live like this and see and understand how evil some of these people are. They have nefarious intentions. I'm talking about the really evil cabal, not the so-called good cabal. There is a difference. The evil cabal wants to do what I basically went over. They're the ones that have nefarious intentions, and I've said a mouthful. You can go over to my other channel, look at the video, and I describe them, what they're into, and makes you turn your head. So I'm going to read the rest of these comments. D Max says they want you to own nothing and be happy. Yes, that's what Klaus Schwab's famous quote. You want to own nothing but control everything. Yes, that's famous quote by Rockefeller years ago. Deals with trust, private banking trust, or common law express trust, more specifically, and being structured correctly. Jude says, which self-custody wallet did you get, or is that too private? I think I answered that question already. I don't want to mention that at all, and I'm not going to mention that, but I thank my private source. But there's videos you can look up on YouTube as I share. You're going to need to know this information. If you don't like Bitcoin, you don't like cryptocurrencies, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, but you're going to thank me later. This is the best advice I can give you. If you're smart enough, if you have enough energy in your body, even if you're up there in age, you're going to need this. You're going to need to know this information, because they're changing the banking system completely. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. It's going to devastate a lot of people. But there's free information. You can look up different types of self-custody or cold storage wallets on YouTube, get different opinions about it, etc. But I won't mention that, because like I said, I went over with I can't control if there's cabal people that I would need to have the money, which I don't have yet, to hire my own security. Some of them can hire their own security or have the ability. I don't have that ability, where you don't see me with my own bodyguard, even though it's funny, I work in a security as a security guard. But you have to ask the question why some of these elites, they have a whole security team. There's someone famous I can name. He has a whole security detail of like 10 men. When he goes places, he has a whole entourage that guards him. These men are highly trained tactically. By the way, it's almost like he's paid for ninjas, by the way, because of what they're involved in. But see, they're using stuff for nefarious intentions. See, I'm not like that. I'm sharing information. I have my own reasons and my own plans down the road, but it isn't to enslave or control people. I just want my freedom. The biggest thing, well, I will be overjoyed with, I will be very happy, is when I can have the day and the ability to leave this 9-to-5 job, this graveyard shift that I'm working. Had I made the right moves years ago, had I been a little bit smarter and sharper, and my timing had been better, I wouldn't have been in this still punching the clock. But I fell for a very devious trap. I was double crossed by the elites, by one of them. And you guys familiar with the video I did about the black card and that information, I won't harp on. But I did, how can I put it? I did put myself out there. I did, what's the word I'm looking for? I made big sacrifices. I went through a lot, but it taught me a lot, what I went through. From this is actual experiences I had. And I shared a video on my Rumble account, my Rumble channel, which Rumble is a more censor-friendly platform. You can go over there, see my other video. I did a video over here previously. Then I have my other YouTube channel that is still up. I can no longer log in. I did videos explaining thoroughly, so you guys have an idea. I know it may be boring, but it gives you insight into what I went through. And you will understand, if you were in my shoes, you would be frustrated too. When there was people, they played favoritism and looked out for other people. And I can only hope, God willing, that, my sources will look out for me if they make it all the way through and reach back. But I can't, that's not a guarantee, but it would be a blessing if that's the case. To show my heart is genuine, my heart is pure. These people are also manipulative as well. But they're also very controlling too. They want to control who gets in. Even levels of the so-called good cabal can be very controlling people, very narcissistic and still controlling. They may not want to kill you like the evil cabal, but they still have their ways about themselves. They can still be very controlling and manipulative. So don't let the smooth taste fool you. But they kind of understand the other cabal wants to destroy the whole planet. They're just out of control. So I'm going to read these other notes, and I'm going to probably shut things down. So this new system coming out is going to be called the quantum financial system, with bank bail-ins and the new rainbow currency. At the time, every time the FRB, that stands for Federal Reserve Bank, increases interest rates again, and then if they decide to raise it, that means the national debt goes up a whole lot more and could instantly add another $1 trillion on top of where the national debt is right now. So if this debt hits a certain amount, it could be a trigger for a reset moment or collapse all across the board. That's if they decide to pull the plug, if they are bringing in this new blockchain currency. And the bail-ins means the banks can just take money out of your account. That's what the bail-ins are. At the G20 summit, they already determined that the price of Ripple has already been decided in the $1,000 range or above. I hear allegedly in other countries currently, it's already trading that high. It's being held at a different amount over here. The Federal Reserve has a program called Fed Now. They're going to start. They've already implemented. I heard last summer. They're going to start using an ISO compliant Fed coin, CBDC. Every central bank around the world is adopting this central bank digital currency. All the cryptos depend on mining will get knocked out in a prolonged power outage. I was informed. I heard Ripple's technology is built to be able to work offline as well. That my source was telling me that Ripple's technology, XRP, can actually function if there's a major power outage, or it can work offline, and certain other coins, and any coins that have X in front of them, that's a code. By the way, that's a cryptic term. It means they have like special benefits, or they're sovereign coins that they're exempt, and you want to be invested in those coins, by the way. So the banks are going to use a high safe, secure network. Bitcoin's fees are much higher as well. What we're still currently going through, this is currently still a retail speculative market. Allegedly, I heard under the new system, they may not be as manipulative as the previous system, but that remains to be seen. But my source was telling me if they get approve a Bitcoin ETF, he says that means they will be able to manipulate Bitcoin even more. You may even have a dual system running at the same time. Keep that in mind, by the way, until the old legacy system they refer to as is phased out. Once the new QFS, the quantum financial system, is phased in, they're in the process of phasing out. As I was informed, currently they're phasing out the legacy system they refer to the older system as. So this is a retail speculative market. Remember, the evil cabal wants to undermine and stump out retail investors. Remember, there's big money coming in with institutional investors. So they have their agenda for the big institutions. So it's going to be a must to have digital assets that can put some of them. This is why the SEC, they're still working out the regulations. Some assets could be potentially defined as a security. You also have digital currencies used as a currency. Since Congress isn't that competent yet to make the laws dealing with digital assets, it is coming. I was informed. They're following their marching orders from the bad cabal. That's the evil cabal. So once the SEC, the Ripple case is over completely, and Congress sits down and makes the law encoded in the United States codes as well as congressional record, once these two things are done, it's going to be the green light for the institutional investors, which is already kind of unfolding because of the heavy regulations that's come down on Kraken, Binance, Coinbase, etc., from the SEC. Institutional investors to participate in digital currency marketplace. The powers that be want to make it where you can only purchase these digital currencies through their banks. The banks want to make money off of you and off me and you. So the intermediary, which is the banks, can control the crypto markets. That's how they want it. They don't like the way Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, and Uphold other exchanges are operating. The reason you want to get a cold storage wallet, and going over this before, so you can hold your own keys, so have custody over your own digital assets. Exodus is considered an anonymous hot wallet because if a cyber attack happened, you don't want to have all your stuff on there and you can't get it off. So I heard allegedly there's a way they could potentially penetrate Exodus just like Coinbase. But I hear Decent Wallet, Trezor. I would stay away from Ledger Nano. I heard Ledger got hacked. There's some newer ones out there that have tougher security that are air gapped, by the way. But like I said earlier, you can do your own research or homework. I'm not going to mention which one I have. Recently, I purchased one that I feel comfortable with that my private source told me. He holds multiple ones that he shared with me privately, but he told me it was very important. I took a long time. He told me a long time ago, he said, hey, you better do this or you could end up missing out, or you can, because he said, hey, that's it. And I said, yeah, I still got to set it up, just being transparent with you guys, but I don't want to say which one. Plus, you would be tipping off hackers and people out there that have nefarious intentions. You want to keep that type of information private. You really don't want that to be public or putting out there, hey, I hold this particular crypto wallet. If it's, I hear some other ones, and you have Engrave out there. You have one called Keystone. Different ones out there. I would say do your research. You have Tangent Wallet, Elapel, Keystone, Tangent Wallet, different ones. Decent Wallet, I hear, is a good one. But some of those, my source mentioned, you want to be careful because some of the newer ones that have safer technology don't use Bluetooth. They only use a QR code, by the way. So you're making sure you're staying safer and things. And you want to get a Faraday bag in case there's an EMP strike or cyber attack, by the way. So without further ado, that's about it, guys. I'm going to wrap things up, and I'm going to look to see if there's some more important information. So the topic of this video was why you must hold these digital assets or be left behind forever. And those digital assets I was going over, well, I say the top 5 digital currencies you want to load the boat on. And I mean load the boat. Number 1 is XRP, which is going to be pegged to gold. Number 2 is XLM, that's going to be pegged to silver. Number 3, I would say is Quant, or number 3 could be XDC. This is 4 so far. Algorand is another one. Number 5, IOTA. Some out there that were friendly, ISO friendly, maybe Solana. There was a document that the World Economic Forum put out where originally they were chosen. I don't know if Solana officially broke through. And Cardano. Solana and Cardano, those are ones may survive. Atom had some type of partnership, but if you're holding other currencies, just know that those could be potentially be faded out when they phase in their new system. If you don't know what to do, especially if you are, and I'm not as advanced as some of you guys are that know how to use MetaMask or whatever, but this is what I was informed. But you want to have a bag set aside to these top 5 digital currencies. You want to load the boat on XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand, IOTA, or even Quant. Solana, Cardano, you can't go wrong with. Definitely XRP and XLM. Oh, I forgot. Most importantly, I'm forgetting one critical one in particular. Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR. It's a diamond in the rough. So you definitely XRP, XLM, that's Stellar Lumens. HBAR, XDC is still under the radar. Was last I checked, something around 5 cents under the radar. Algorand had ran up a little bit, then it pulled back some. You can't go wrong. They're still in IOTA. They're all still down. They're still good buys right now. Quant was the highest. Quant was like 130 something the last time I checked. I hear Quant may go up in the thousands, by the way. I don't hold Quant, just so you know, but I hear it's part of the ISO, part of the chosen coins by the elites. The exchanges that's good to swap. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. I did go over hardware wallets or cold storage wallets. You had Trezor, Model T. I won't mess with Ledger. I advise because Ledger Nano there was some type of hack that happened. I even saw people they publicly show they were upset. They threw their money away. I heard people even got lost certain digital assets they had. So I would stay away from Ledger. The private call, okay, is this important information? I'm going over some notes, guys. That's what I'm kind of reading from a little bit. So retail investors are the small fry people like me and you. However, institutional buyers, banks, people with assets of more than 100 million are known as qualified institutional buyers. They are potentially trying to get rid of retail investors because of the potential Ripple buyout. I was informed that institutional investors are on standby, that they may not want to pay out $37,000 per coin. If you do sell all your XRP and think you're going to buy it back, they have a plan set up where they're going to try to cut out after a certain point to completely cut off retail investors. This may happen so you could get locked out. But I heard you're going to be grandfathered in if you already know what to do once the regulations come down the pipe, specifically with these coins, specifically with the XRP token in particular. So they want to get rid of retail investors, and institutional investors are on standby to buy up all the rest on exchanges. Once they get the word, the institutional investors are going to come in, and that's already been kind of happening. And they're going to swoop in and gobble everything up, like big bank take little bank. So that's the plan, guys. This is one of the most powerful, most important videos I've done. You can't find a video, this video right here. I'm going to tell you, I'm not trying to boast or brag, but this is hot. This is on a level that fire information, like I like the channel Matthew Perry puts out, Currency 365, other crypto channels. This is very important. So share this video, like this. Don't forget to thumbs this video up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Should be in the description box where to follow me at on social media. Until next time, real legends never die. They live in our hearts. You guys have a blessed and wonderful morning. Until next time, peace. I'm out.